What will America use for energy? We know that China will use coal since they're building a new coal-fired plant in the equivalent of every week, and oil since they're exploring and drilling and importing an incredible amount of oil. But we, on the other hand, I don't know what we're out of options, really. During this wonderful Earth Week, green is universal, you know, we're commemorating the one-year anniversary of the unthinkable catastrophe in the Gulf. So, we can't drill anymore. I mean, Brazil can in the same water, but we can't. The Japanese nuclear accident causing alarm over the prospect of nuclear power, and the president, in addition to threatening to bankrupt the coal industry during the campaign, added this gem to the coal industry yesterday.
The challenge with coal is that although it's very cheap, it's also dirty. And it can create the kinds of air pollution that not only is contributing to climate change, but it's also creating asthma for kids nearby.
Kids nearby.
You got asthma. Okay. And so sucking that stuff in is not ideal.
It's causing, for kids, not adults, kids. Really, we should send them directly to the emergency room early, don't you think?
It costs you gave them treatment early, and they got some treatment and a breathalyzer or an inhalator. Not a breathalyzer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Was he thinking an inhaler maybe? I'm not really sure. You give him a breathalyzer test, that might not help an asthma patient unless we're trying to figure out how much coal dust is in there. Asthma is not caused by coal, Mr. President. Some environmental irritants like pollution can trigger an attack, but coal does not give one asthma. And that's just according to the crazy crackpots at the National Institute of Health. But who's counting here? Let's keep in mind, this president, not really good on medical issues. Remember when he said the doctors were amputating people's feet and tonsils just to make extra cash? Never heard that before, but he has. Back to energy, though. What will power our nation when these guys are through with us? Coal. You know how much, everything that comes out of that little magic little holes in the wall that you like plug things into, it's just magic energy. How much of that is created by coal? 45% of America's energy production, coal. He wants it eliminated. Nuclear, how much? 20%. Oh, this is great. Oil, coal, and nukes, they're off the table. Guess what? According to the Dallas Morning News today, NRG Energy, they're the second largest power generator in Texas, of all places, will be ending a project to build 2 new nuclear reactors. Quote, the project was doomed when a financial partner, Tokyo Electric Power Company, saw its reactors in Japan explode after the earthquake. We have concluded that financially this is the end of the line for us. And even if the project is resurrected, it would have to be fueled by someone else's financial resources. Can I ask you a question? You think there's any chance that all this might be the end of line for all nukes? Do you think? Maybe. And then we get the happy news today from the Supreme Court that they're about to turn over the global warming case to the EPA. The lawsuit in 6 states and New York City to force major power companies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions because of evil coal. Little sick little British children without any pets or a dog, and they're walking with a little, they've got a little, I've got a little limp, I've got to get along, and oh, if I could get home to mommy, but it's all this coal. They have to reduce all of those evil emissions. Now that could be in the hands of the EPA, and that's going to go well. The same EPA who once, until recently, was headed by socialist Carol Browner. I love Carol. Is that a picture of her? No, we don't have her. She later became, there she is. Oh, she's so sweet. We should give her a cape. She later became Obama's climate czar, and now she's gone home to feather her nest in the Center for American Progress, where all good socialists go when they're done at the White House. Hello, George Soros. Good job, Carol Browner. Lisa Jackson is now the current head of the EPA, and she is all about environmental justice and redistribution wrapped in green. Those are quotes. Redistribution wrapped in green. Here she is on environmental justice.
Environmental justice at its root is a recognition that there is unfinished business from the last 40 years, and much of that unfinished business is concentrated in low-income and minority neighborhoods.
Much unfinished business. Here's the EPA. What she could, you know what she's talking about? I think she's talking about redistribution of wealth. What do you think? By the way, Time magazine is running a story now that your ice maker is destroying the planet. I thought making all that white ice would help make things cooler. We don't have any power to make ice makers with, or have power the ice maker to make ice pretty soon. There may not be enough trucks to get household appliances to your home. In California, trucking companies are saying that they may go out of business. Trucking companies, as a result of new state rules from California's Air Resources Board called CARB. And finally, despite what the administration is claiming, the Wall Street Journal has a new report out predicting the deep water oil drilling bans will cut domestic oil production. That certainly isn't helping with the cost of gasoline at the pump, is it? Our offshore production, which mostly comes from the Gulf, is expected to be down 13% this year. What are we going to use for energy? Do we even need energy? I don't need it in third world countries, so I don't have it. Back in a minute.